Hey, peace and blessings to you. My name is Jerry B. I am the EntreMusician, and so are you. And when we talk about entrepreneurial musicians, I got to take you way, way back into my childhood. I had a musical hero who I looked up to, and if you wanted to be a serious musician, then you had to follow the model and the example that was being set by Karl Kc Cousins, Youngstown, Ohio, hands down. And we're catching up after some 30 years or so. He's
At
going on to do
least.
some magnificent things, and we want to welcome him to the podcast. Brother Karl, yo, man.
What's happening, Jerry? It's been a long time, man.
Absolutely, man. And your family's doing well. Timmy, I haven't talked to anybody, man. The cousins were just like a
Man,
staple in the city.
everybody's doing good. Everybody's doing good. Mom passed away a couple years ago, but she's doing good. But everything is good, man. I see you. I see you staying busy.
Absolutely.
Making it happen, man. I've been checking your. I've been checking your site out. I mean, like, you're strong, Jerry. I'm highly appreciating what you're doing.
Well, I appreciate that, man, coming from you, and I mean it. I will restate what I said. If you wanted to do anything, when you're looking for serious musicians to be role models, man, you set the standard. I don't know if you knew how many of us were on the outside, kind of looking in, but you really paved the way. So I mean that with all my heart.
Man, that's
I mean,
okay.
on, on the one because I mean, we had a lot of players, and when we talk about Youngstown, and let's just do that a little bit for reminiscing. But when we
Yeah.
talk about Youngstown, especially circa 1976, 77, on through the early 80s, there were a lot of players that were coming up out of White Town. You know?
Yeah. Well, it's funny that the period of time, but I guess it's because of the age difference.
Mm-hmm.
Because the real stuff that was going on was during the 60s, man.
I'm in diapers then, so
Right,
you
right.
just
'Cause see,
roll
that's
it
that's
out and
that's
tell me
that's what I'm
about it.
saying. That's what I'm saying. See, what you got, the era you guys were seeing was like we were like the prodigies of cats that came before us. I mean, like, uh there used to be this. It was a season of variety shows, and
Absolutely.
I think they started over at North High School, and they went to each school. South High School was the last school. That was when all the winners from all the shows would come together and do one variety show, one talent show. And during that period, like during my junior high school years, there was literally there was like at least four singing groups on every 3 blocks. There was a band every six blocks. And so the it was just how we grew up. We grew up. It was like where we come from. So when we were young, it was either you do something wrong, you play sports, or but for us, Youngstown had music, man. We had some heavy cats come out here. Boogie D, Lamar's old man, uh, Winston Walls, uh, Tom Jones, Chuck Carter. Oh man, there was so many vicious Wilbur Irvin. I'm just naming keyboard players. You know, uh, there were so many, and this is what we grew up around. My mother, Wesley Blackshear, Freddie Harris, Freddie Stevens, Billy Beck.
Billy
Billy,
Beck.
even though Billy was young, when I'm saying young, I'm talking like 5.
Gotcha.
He was in the circle of the eliters. Yeah, well, I say 7. Well, I give him 7, 7 years
Yeah,
old.
yeah.
But there was always extreme vocalists, extreme drummers. It was always a high caliber of musician in Youngstown. And so the only difference was whether or not you were going to play music or you're going to play music. You know, whether you're going to try to make it a career or just do it. Because there's some cats that just never did it that were like,
Fantastic.
yeah, Donna Ballinger. I don't know, did you know Donna Ballinger?
No, I've heard her name, but I never
That's
knew her.
Killer's ex-wife.
Oh, I know Killer. Yeah,
Man,
yeah, yeah.
that girl used to sing Chaka Khan, eat chicken and laugh at the same time. You think I'm joking? Anybody that know the stories, but that's
My
how we
God.
grew up, man. You know, so you know, to hear that you guys had your eye on me, you know, I it makes me really feel honored, you know, because like I say, there was the cast that came before us that we watched, you know, the bands and the musicians, how they carried themselves, you know, how they dressed, you know, how they presented themselves on stage. And for us, you know, the stage became like that was serious work, player. You don't come in there half stepping.
Exactly. Exactly right. Well, tell me a little bit about Reed's Arena because that was just ahead of me. A lot of bands that were there, a lot of name acts that came through Reed's, as I understand.
Well, the thing about Reed's Arena, they brought all the name acts. Everybody. I mean, like Tina Turner, Stevie Wonder, the Temptations, Four Tops, Delphonics, Unifics, all them cats. Everybody that was out came through Reed's Arena, and that gave us the opportunity as young musicians to open for the best. But
Gotcha.
and instead of saying but, I'll say and yes, we tore a hole in their behinds when they came to town. We had cats that would go up on stage and do the song that was their hit.
Wow.
That, that was hit below. But hey, there were rumors for years. I never saw it, but there were rumors for years that on the back door of the Apollo was written, "If you think you're good, go to Youngstown."
Mm,
You know that rumor went around for years. I don't know how true it was. I never saw it, but I know I've seen any group that came to Youngstown that wasn't a well polished, well groomed, well rehearsed, tight unit. If they came to Youngstown, they got smoked, man. It was somebody there to smoke every one of them.
wow.
That's just how we roll, you know.
Well, I knew the legacy was huge, man. But like I said, I'm so 65 is when I show up, right? So, right? Play it in church, 72, 73, young, church
Yeah, yeah,
musician, that type of thing.
okay,
Came up among the ranks, but then 16, we talking 1980, 1979, and getting
yeah.
the lay of the
That's
land,
okay, yeah,
you know.
okay, yeah.
So, but
That was. Go ahead.
no, 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 go for it.
I was just going to say that was kind of like that was kind of like after we had kind of grew up and became musicians. I put it like that.
Yeah,
Um, the period that I was talking about, the Reed Serena period, that was our formative years. We were still kids.
got it.
We were horning. We were tightening. We were getting the pressure put on us. You know, we were developing our skills and deciding whether or not um, this industry was an industry that we wanted to try to tame.
Correct. What got you started? What got you started in music from the jump? How old were you? What was your journey like?
I've always been my mother, Marie Cousin. She's been music. She was music, and so I was going to choir rehearsals before I was born. You know, I've been I've been sitting behind the piano before I was even born, and then as a child, one of my favorite places to sleep was between the piano and the wall. I used to crawl behind the piano while my mother would practice. So uh, I this music is always I can't relate to life void of music. That there's for me, there was no start point. I mean, like when I first started gigging, uh, my mother used to take me around to like the Hagstrom House. Oh man, what was the one over on the north side? He said all the they used to have a bunch of like
Community centers.
community centers. Yeah, yeah. And community centers used to do talent shows. That was used to be big, but everybody used to lip sync. I
Mm,
remember my first my first song, my first variety show, and I won. It was I played Wilson Pickett in the Midnight Hour.
wow.
Yeah, yeah, and but my mom used to take me around to all these different talent uh, community centers with a little bottle of Listerine.
Did you do the McGuffey Center out
McGuffey,
there
I
in
did
Jacobs?
McGuffey, I did all of them. I did all the centers. Man, I mean, like I was maybe like about 6 or 7. My mother used to. I remember I had this little gray tweed suit that I used to love. I was clean, boy. Little 2-piece gray tweed suit. Put my little suit on. Find me some books or something so I could sit on and reach the keyboard, and
Yeah.
that's how I started.
So what was your first band? How old were you, and what was the name of the band and some of the members?
My
Do you remember them?
first band, I think the first group I was in, because I started out as little Karl Cousin. I started out piano and vocals, and then I met this chick named, I want to say her name was Reba Thomas. She sang. She could sing. So I started playing piano behind Reba for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And that really wasn't my thing, but because I sang as well. So the first singing group that I was in was called the Low Bells.
The
It
Lobels.
was the Low Bells, Lovell.
Lobels.
It was golly, Robert Simpson, Carl Hawkins, Terry Summers, and the name Lovell was one of the one cat I can't remember his name right now. That was his middle name, and myself. But that was the first group that I became a member of because I knew Carl. Huh? It was a singing group. Yeah, it was a singing group because I knew Carl and Simpson from the association choir that we were in the Eastern Ohio, Western Pennsylvania association choir that my mother had. So I knew them through there. And I think that was my first group, first band.
Mm.
I don't even remember. First band.
I know that you were doing the variety shows, though. You were kicking the variety shows in the butt.
Yeah, I was doing a lot of for a lot of the variety show periods. Uh, those were mostly my singing days because I kind of like they didn't have a piano to just drag around every place, you know, and I couldn't afford an electric piano, and I'm not an organ player, never have been. So I started singing. I was in singing groups for a bunch of years. I was with a group called The Message. I was with no before that I was with a group called Showtime, Showpiece. Before that, okay, I think my real first band that I could remember that was really a tight unit was myself, Bertie Varner, Herbie Miller, Rhodey Jones, and Larry Moody. We was called Freeway West. We was hot. We was tight. This is way back. Freeway West. Yeah, yeah,
What
yeah.
year?
Wow.
Give me a year. Give me an era. Early 70s.
Isaac Hayes Joy, whatever year that was.
Gotcha.
Black Moses period. Uh
74, 73, 74 ish.
yeah, maybe a little bit earlier than that. Yeah, yeah, back around that era.
And
Back around there.
you were playing boards. This was a band, or this still
Yeah,
was a singing
yeah,
group there? Yeah.
yeah. No, I was playing. We were really like a jazz funk fusion band.
Hmm.
Uh, we would get hired from jobs and get fired on the job because because our music. I was doing all these crazy arrangements, and so we would have tempo changes in the middle of a song. We would have meter changes. We were playing. We were out there. We were out there. Those were my days. I was listening to Bitches Brew, Miles Davis and stuff
Right,
like
right,
that.
right.
You
Yeah,
know, so
yeah.
I'm between Three Dog Night, Bitches Brew, and Isaac Hayes, and
Right,
I'm and we had it all together, and it was working. It was tight. And we had promoters. They was saying, "Man, we love the band." I said, "But y'all be messing up. People be out there dancing. Y'all slow the music down. They be dancing slow. Y'all speed the music up." We weren't playing for the people. We weren't playing for the
right.
people. We were playing for the
Musicians.
musical experience. It
Mm.
was like complete selfishness. We we didn't care at all, man. We were smoking too. We were smoking a smoking band.
When
Birdie
Carl,
Bar.
did you when did you make the decision and you said, okay, because you stated it earlier, there were musicians who were fantastic, but did not want to pursue music as the entity. When did you make the decision that, okay, this is more than the variety shows, this is more about being on stage, this really is my life's work, this is my purpose, this is the craft?
It was already there. But what really sealed the deal for me. Uh, I used to run track. I messed my knees up when I was in junior high school. I had to have a knee surgery when I was in high school. Uh, and so I actually had to have my knee. They needed to replace my knee, but they didn't have knee replacements at that time. So my father brought a specialist in. Dude came in, reshaped my kneecap, and put it back. Reshaped the cup and everything, put it back. And I didn't walk well for some years, but I got it back together. That's when I was with Brothers of singing group, me, Killer, Terry Summers, and Art Williams. Yeah. And so after that, 1971, left Youngstown, went to LA, then I joined the Navy. I was in the Navy for like 29 days. They booted my butt out of there when they saw the scar on my knee. Okay. And so basically, I came out of the Navy as a disabled vet.
I see.
Okay. But being that I was under 30 days, I was dumb, man. I was dumb. And I didn't have any brothers that were able to come to my aid and tell me what was necessary. So they got me out of the service in 29 days. So I didn't get any benefits, right?
Ah, yeah,
But
yeah.
that didn't make any difference. So I came back to Youngstown. From that point, I found out that by me having the DD 214 being labeled disabled by the military, I was not able to work in any kind of facility that had more than 4 steps on the property, and I was not allowed to carry anything over 25 pounds.
I see.
So I was left with selling dope or playing music,
Word up.
you
And the
know. And
former, the former wasn't an option.
oh, it was an option. It was definitely an option, but it wasn't in my heart.
Word up.
It
That's what
wasn't
I
in my
meant.
heart. That's
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 what I
that's
meant.
all it was. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it was an option, and I tried, and I tried, but it wasn't in my heart. I wasn't no dope man. I wasn't no dope. I wasn't a dope man, you know. And so for me, uh, music became a only route,
Hmm.
a only route. Because I mean, like I say, you know where we from, you know, pimp, player, punk, and preacher. The 4 P's of life. I don't know if they still roll by that, but that's what we grew up by. The 4 P's of life. Pimp, player, punk, and preacher. You know, I was a player. I was all right. I wasn't the greatest. I tried my hand at pimping. I wasn't no pimp. You know.
So let's roll back to what it is, right? It's the
Hey,
music.
yeah, it's the music. I mean, music saved me. It made me. It was so. You know, I was already music. You know.
Well, let me tell you what I saw from my vantage point. And I was probably one of the few musicians. I don't know this to be true. I'm saying it here on air and you could just like crash it. No, that wasn't the case. But I think I was one of the few musicians because of my association with Timmy to actually come over to your home and actually see your home studio when you were doing computers and you had the technology on point, where that was just a dream fantasy
Yeah.
for the younger kids. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
So tell me about that time, how you actually uh, made that transition into you were music producer, you were engineer, you knew what was happening and where technology was going back then when we were just
I was
scratching the
always a
surface.
nerd. I was always a nerd. Always. If you'd have went into our living room, you would have seen the World Book Encyclopedias and the Britannicas and Webster Dictionary. Those were all mine. I used to get those every Christmas. If I didn't get some new dictionaries and some new encyclopedias, I felt like I was being robbed.
Oh
So,
my.
you know, and then I had a cousin. He passed away. His name was Maurice Cousin, not Reese Sims. That was my best friend, but Maurice Cousin Jr. He passed away, but he turned me on to computers way, 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 way back, man. And so then through Baby Brother Band, I met Felton Pilot from Confunction. We did some work with Confunction, and I was really big into MIDI during that period, and I met Function. I mean, Felton. Felton was big on it, and that just really opened the door. So by the time I got back to Youngstown, uh, plus, see, that was a white boys game. I don't want y'all to hear me wrong when I say
Yeah,
it like that,
understood.
you know. But I, I got, I used to be kind of militant, you know, and so I always knew that because I could read and I liked to read. I used to hang out at the library. There was no information that the white boy could keep from me.
Gotcha.
So in my field, in our field, I, I looked around and I realized we couldn't get anything done until we went to the white boy. I don't care how much we practiced our music, we couldn't get nothing done until we went to Peppermint Studios or one of those other. We had to go to some white boy studio.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Period.
Mm-hmm.
That was it.
Mm-hmm. Because that
And
was
I,
that was
I
the gatekeeper. That was the transition
right.
out. Yeah, I
Right.
understand.
I couldn't allow that. I couldn't allow that to hold me back. I mean, my house on Earl, as little as anybody knew, I had a chance when I was younger to go to Detroit to see the Hitsville house.
Mm.
And it was like God said to me, your house bigger than that.
Understood.
So that's the reason I came back. I'm like, okay, my house bigger than Hitsville, so I can try anyways.
Correct.
You know, and so that was the whole thing, man. I mean, like, even musically around town, I had dropped off for about 2-3 years, and that was only because uh, Isaac Hayes had wrote a score, and
Mm.
Curtis Mayfield had wrote a score, and those were the cats I wanted to be in competition with. That's the reason I started my own studio. That's the reason I did those things, because I figured, in order for me to, if I'm going to compete against the goldfish in the bowl with me, I'm going to be just another goldfish in the bowl.
Come on.
you know. But even if I'm outside the bowl, if I see this cat outside the bowl doing something, I'm gonna challenge him. I'm gonna try. So I start playing with bands. I start messing with music. It took me about a year and a half, and I wrote a play. Then I wrote a score to go to the play.
Wow.
Play got stolen, but that was all right. I wrote the score. I did what I needed to do for my self gratification, whether or not it was released, anybody ever heard or what. That's when I had Freeway West and the boys. but but yeah, that's so the for me, the computer, I always heard my mother used to complain when I was a kid. I was never a good music student. Never a good music student because man, I was changing the song while I was hearing it. My mother used to say I had dyslexia of the ear,
My.
because she would play something and I'd play it back and it'd be different. You know, it's so I always heard orchestration. It frustrated me because I couldn't produce any of the music that I wanted. I couldn't voice myself because I couldn't afford strings, brass. I couldn't afford it. I couldn't even afford to go to the studio, you
Understood.
know.
I understand
And
it.
then once I got introduced to MIDI and the computer, and I got a chance to dive into it and really explore, I found that all those doors were removed. Orchestration was at my fingertips.
Correct.
Stimulated, but I was able to express myself and find myself, you know, musically. Uh, even today, when I have cats play with me, because I still do my solo show. Uh, I do cover material, but everything I do is my own arrangement. I produce all my own tracks. And I have some cats that are really staunch, good musicians. I mean, good musicians. And when they play with me, it don't work
Mm.
because they're playing the song right. My shit is wrong, always has been. That's me. This is how I do it. If I'm playing with you, I'll play it like the record. But if I'm playing it for me, I don't sing like Stevie Wonder. I love some of the songs, but I don't sing like Stevie. So I'm not gonna try to do Stevie. This gonna be KC doing a song by Stevie. Hope y'all like
I can
it.
dig that.
hope you like it. Matter of fact, and it's not even a B side. It's
Right.
the eighth.
It's
It's the
it's
eighth
the
song
one.
on the second side of the album. You may have never heard it. This is the one I like.
No, I understand it. I really do. I think too, man. I don't know. You could correct me on this too. I think that's another I don't know attitude. I think most people that are coming from Youngstown do come with more of a renegade spirit. Like it just can't be cookie cutter for us. At least around the
No,
musicians
because
that I grew up
too
with.
many
Yeah.
cats been good.
Yeah.
Too many cats been good. You can't mediocre don't work. Good don't work. Your ass have to be smoking every note, every step.
Absolutely.
I mean, like you take my boys, Ice Cold Love,
Yeah.
Jerry McElroy, Pokey, Ulysses, and Baldwin.
Yeah.
That's when they was four, but they dropped down to three. But as far as like suave
Mm-hmm.
steps, having that shit on point,
Yeah.
man, them cats was chasing Delphonics. They was on the. They was.
Sure.
That's what I'm saying. When we grew up,
Yeah.
musical excellence was expected, not
Absolutely.
exceptional. It was expected. If you came less, you were less. It was simple as that. Just you stand your ass back there, back up in the line.
Right,
You
right,
know,
right.
that's
Absolutely, absolutely.
you
No,
know,
I get it, and so that explains why your approach to the arrangements that you want to do is on another level. And again, I feel like I'm repeating myself. That's what we saw coming up. When the name Karl Cousin came up, it was not bounced around as, oh yeah, yeah, Carl. It was never that. It was like, oh, Carl.
yeah.
That was it.
But
So, no, I understand.
I heard. I never will forget. I heard the cat say, "Yeah, he played by himself because he's too arrogant to play with anybody else." You know, it wasn't that. It was just that I was on a different channel.
That's
You
correct.
know, I was on a different channel. You know,
Yeah, absolutely. Wavelength, man. And you have to have your own wavelength because you have to be with you when nobody else is with you. I got to sleep well at night, man. And if I compromised on who I am, my principles, my values, my approach to what I'm doing, then it's like, I'm, classic nonconformist. You know what I mean? But here's the thing too. A couple questions because I want to be able to get to musical exploration, but I just needed
yeah,
to ask you. I needed to start on the ground floor. I just didn't want to start off and go in there what the nonprofit is doing and whatnot. But I have to ask you about seeing the absolute change in music, and we're talking about the way royalties are paid, the way record companies, kind of froze up, and what the independent musician has to do on these streaming platforms, and your transition from being in the United States to going overseas and doing work over there. So I know it's a big open-ended question, but what are the transitions that come to your mind when I bring those subjects up?
well, the transitions on the music is what's happening in the industry. When I started my record label, Dodge City Unlimited, Studio 204, that was like 76, I think, when I started, really. Uh, and I was going against the grain because the whole independent thing wasn't a thing. It was really just starting, you know. And my whole thing was because I had been offered some contracts that were like really messed up contracts. Uh, I had went through the dope man funding era. I had been through all that. Because where we're from, I had been through all the garbage. I had been through the dope man. I had been through the crooked managers. I had been through all the stuff. So it was like, how can we do what we do and not get ripped off?
Right.
The transition with the internet and everything that never changed.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like there are some selected individuals that seem to be able to get paid almost like it's those the numbers that they making some of the people making in the industry nowadays. It's like crazy. One concert, all the musicians could make some money, you know. But it has never been set up for us, the artists, especially the black artists, to make money off of our talent. That aspect of our field has always been run by the Jewish. The white people have always run that aspect. All the record labels, even to the day, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Uh, I don't think anybody could, and I don't know if Motown stands on this point anymore. I don't know if anybody could name me a black record company,
Sure.
not a record label.
Sure. Sure.
Label ain't
Understood.
shit.
Understood the difference. Yeah, absolutely.
This is my world. Label ain't shit.
Right.
That's a white label. You can go. We can all go buy a T-shirt and stick our name on it, and sell it. White label. We ain't made no T-shirt. White label. But I don't know of one. And if there is somebody could tell me, and I'd be glad to know. But so from that aspect, I mean, man, you don't realize how many great records were made off of a bottle of whiskey, a bottle of wine, some cocaine, a little bit of heroin, some weed, and that's all the artists got out of it. So I mean, like, I don't is right now, even with the school, that's what our school is about. The school is musical and financial literacy.
Very good.
Musical and financial literacy.
Yeah.
I can't let music go. That's what I am. That's who I am. That's it. That's period. That's it. That's it. That's it. I'm black. I'm music. That's it. You know.
Interchangeable.
That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. Okay. The financial literacy aspect of the game, I didn't have. I didn't learn that.
Yeah.
I didn't learn that. And as I've gotten older, I found out that my responsibility is to eliminate my weaknesses from your growth.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever I had a weakness with, that's the reason with musical exploration, musically, the first thing I'm gonna do is you're gonna learn how to read music. Whether or not you decide you want to read music the rest of your life, or you or you want to stop, that's okay. That's on you. But you're gonna learn that. That's first. Because that was,
Gotcha.
and I mean, when I say read music, I'm talking about sight reading.
Understood.
Okay. I never sight read good because my eyes jumped around the paper. So I didn't pursue it. Theory, I'm a monster. Okay. But so my weakness was reading music. So that's the first thing that I eliminate from my students. Okay. The second thing that we did not have growing up was financial literacy, how and what to do with our money.
Right.
So not only are we going to cover all instruments, I mean, like we're like about 7, 8 instruments strong as far as our teachers. Uh, but our main real focus is bringing that financial literacy, showing individuals how to do your own publishing, if that's what you want to do. If this is really your passion. I mean, we even have a specialist come in that's going to be showing social media marketing as well, because without social media marketing today, I don't care what you got, that shit is still in the garage. Bam.
Without
Still in
fail.
the garage. Still in the garage. Yeah, it's still in the garage. It's great. It's in the garage.
Yeah.
And so that's where I'm gravitating to. But as far as the computers and stuff, man, I've been there. I've been there. Like I say, I've always been a nerd. I always dug math. Even as a kid in school, I didn't like school because I used to score too high, so they would never let me take music. You know, I drew. They wouldn't let me take art. They made me take science and stuff just because I was smart. I'm like, kiss my ass, man. What? You're gonna make. Everything I took all through school was scholastic, man. I mean, like,
Mm.
even when high school, I skipped out of one class into other classes so much. I got a B in art. I didn't even have art. I got a B. I don't even know what class I was skipping. I had
Right.
I had choir. I didn't have choir. I skipped another class and went to choir every day. I was an excellent student.
My
I wasn't even in
goodness.
that class.
Is this
You know?
South? Is this South High?
Yeah, that was South High. I was not a good. I wasn't a good student, anyways. No, I wasn't. I probably would have skipped anyways. Something. I was not a good student. Uh-uh. But the only thing I can say is when I did skip, I didn't leave school.
You
I
just went to
skipped and
another
went to
class.
another class.
Right. Right.
And I did well. I excelled in that class. You know.
Well, let's talk.
I just
Let's
thought
talk.
about it. I never looked at it like that before, but yeah.
Well, let's talk a little bit about METLC, that world. As you can see, this is the
Yes.
nonprofit that you created, and when did it come into formation? And you're already talking from the middle standpoint, but what was the impetus in saying this has to be done? Now you're based in Nevada.
Yeah, man, this is I did this. I was doing educational stimulation back in Youngstown in the 80s. I used to go around to all the schools. Um, and I got banned from a couple schools because I told the students that they could infiltrate the libraries, that until they graduate from high school, there was not a library or book that they could stop them from getting. Sneak in, steal the books, read the information. Once you get there, oh, the teachers, they're like, oh no, we can't have him talking to the kids like that. I'm like, you got to steal it. Go in there. They cannot learn the Dewey Decimal System. They can't stop you from getting any book that's there. And his memory ain't no good. So he got to write down everything. And he was a real big liar, and he would trick his buddy, and he would trick his friend. So they had to do contracts because their word wasn't shit. So all these contracts, well, that's what it is. That's the library is there.
Dude,
See,
the presentation though, yo.
right. My presentation wasn't good. My presentation never. That's hey, this me, man. I'm the same kind of always was.
Right,
You know,
right. I can dig it.
that's what it was. That's what it was. That's the reason the library is there.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the reason the library is there. Our knowledge was taught by word of mouth. There was always a person that had the responsibility of repeating exactly what he was told without any inflections of voice, any new hand gestures, any new movements. His job as a historian was to tell
Right.
the story, not his story. His story and the story are two different things. you know, and so that's what I used to always tell him. He
Right.
he told so many different stories that he had to write them down, and his word wasn't trustworthy. So his brother had to, man, you gotta write that down. How many pigs am I getting? Okay, you gotta write that down. You gotta write that down. Cause last time you said I was getting two pigs, I got a chicken. So I used
There
to
we
tell them,
go.
go to the library.
Yeah.
It's all there. Every formula, every message. And then they turned around and they came out with a phrase, and they said, you know how to hide it from them? Put it in a book.
Mm.
If you want to hide it from them, put it in a book.
Interesting. Interesting. Yeah.
Put it in a book. You've heard it.
I've heard it. Absolutely.
If you,
I've heard
if
it.
you want to
Which
hide it
is
from a black man, put it in a book.
which is why I'm an avid reader. So, they just twist it.
Hey, you know. But yeah,
Absolutely. So
so
so when did you start the school? So when did it come into fruition?
actually, uh, December of last year, November, December of last year, I went on to an online seminar with this young brother named Sensei Spectacular Smith. Young brother, he mentored P Man. What's my man name? Master P.
Okay.
Okay. Heavy young brother, man. So I went through this 5 day thing, man, and man, it sparked me, you know. And so I decided to go ahead and start doing one-on-one piano lessons again because I've been doing after school programs out here in Vegas for the past 11 years, but it's been out in the outskirts with all the rich kids and everything, you know. So my classes, I'd have 40 students. My others were Asian. You know, every now and then I might get a black, and that black would be even an African. They would. That's what I'm saying. We were just not represented there. And so I tried to get the guy to bring the program into the inner city, but it wasn't financially, it didn't make
Feasible.
sense. No,
Hmm.
it didn't make sense at all. Even to the point where prior to the pandemic, I had done a summer program, and I had people bother me for the past almost 4 years to when I'm gonna start doing lessons again. And I wasn't doing it because I couldn't afford to do it for $15 an hour,
Sure.
and they couldn't afford to pay 50.
Sure.
So I was at a stalemate. So, like I say, around November, December, I saw went to this online seminar, hyped me up and everything. So I decided to start doing lessons again, one on one, out of my apartment. And so I opened my little Google store like they showed me, and posted all my little stuff, yada yada. I'm going to do lessons again. And then the church that I go to, one of the young ladies at the church found out that I was going to do lessons again. And she goes, "So where are you doing your lessons?" I said, "I'm just one on one out of my apartment." And she goes, "Come here, I want to show you something." And so she takes me next door at the church where she has an office called me
Mm.
Help Me Up Outreach. And so she takes me in there, she opens the door, and she opens the door to this back area. There's this nice conference room back there. And
Yeah.
she goes, "This is for you to do your school." Messed me up, man, because I'm not used to people giving me shit.
I understand.
So I didn't even go back there for like about 3 weeks. I didn't even walk back in there. So my God started messing with me. So uh, I changed the address from my apartment to that location.
Hmm.
The following week, I got a phone call from a lady that wanted to donate a piano to us. And the thing about it, it was a German scale. I don't know if you ever seen a German scale piano.
I
It's a
haven't.
real piano, but it's only 76 keys,
Mm.
and it's little. It looks like a piano built for kids. So it was perfect. So I go get the piano. The following week, the lady that I had done the summer program with prior to the pandemic, she had some keyboards from that. So she donated those to the studio, to the school.
Hmm.
So now I got the piano, and I got keyboards. Uh, then some other things happened at my home studio where I was able to take my home studio, upgrade it, and so my other stuff, I was able to take that to the school, and then just all kind of stuff. Guitar donations. I've been donated 3 grand pianos. I've had to send them to other places. I had to find homes for them,
Wow.
and so my paperwork and everything really just got finished. So we're brand new, man. It was just Jerry. It was and I still have difficulty saying it. A friend of mine, a guy named Eddie Rivera, broke me down, man. Broke me down like an onion peel. And I was 40 years. I've been afraid. Better than 40 years. I've been afraid of failing at this endeavor. And so I may have started before, but I never followed through. And also, this time, and y'all, you world, excuse me because I use certain phrase, but this time I got what I call white boy papers in my bag.
Mm.
Black people, we always got some letterheads. We got a logo. Brother come up with a logo real quick. Put it on a T-shirt, letterhead, business card, and everything. But we don't have that what I call white boy paper. That's when you got that government stamp and that seal, and it should come from the IRS, and it comes from the U.S. government, and you are established. You have an EIN. You're not. You are an entity. And so this is the first time I went all the way in. And
Yeah.
it's not easy. It's not easy. Nonprofit. There's a whole lot to being and it's just and it's different, and I don't even know what all it is yet because I'm an infant, you know, I'm an infant to where I'm going, but
But no doubt even in your infancy, no doubt you're going to be a model. And one of the same role models that I saw at 16, and I'm well over 16, approaching 60, approaching 60. I know that the students who are up under your tutelage, both on the musical theory aspect and on the financial literacy, are going to really be taught exactly what they need to know as far as their life and their career is concerned. I have no
Yeah,
doubt
and,
about it.
I'm blessed with some great teachers, man. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
like, uh, for one, he relate. A lot of people feel relate to him as a homeboy. My boy Skip Martin.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Skip,
absolutely.
Skip is he's teaching brass.
Excellent.
Uh, I have Bugsy Wilcox. He played drums with Marvin Gaye.
Mm-hmm.
He's our drum teacher. Uh, John Rocker, one of our guitar teachers. He played with Buddy Miles, uh, Philip Henry. He played with Queen Latifah, Shaggy, and stuff. One of our dance teachers, Marquis Monday, she danced with the New York City Rockettes, and she has a praise dance certificate. Rodney Munnings, the young brother that's a big DJ out here on the Vegas Strip. He's going to be teaching DJ and dance.
Wow.
Who am I leaving out? Mortonette Stevens, she sang background with Billy Joel, Elton John, some of the greatest, you know. I'm just like, I got a cat named Sid the Kid out here that's like Sidney Smith. Brilliant brother on woodwinds and advanced theory.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I'm doing keyboards and vocals. Um, but I mean, like, I'm just being blessed, I've had people rally forward for as far as the financial literacy classes and stuff. So man, I'm just trying to hang on to God's coattail right now because He dragging me along. It's a hey, He dragging me along, man.
Hang on with all your might. Now, who's your
Hey,
ideal student? This is for a certain age limit, or people who are
no,
over a certain age. Anyone.
no, I mean, like we're gearing up really strong to do after school programs, and of course, my kids. I got to do. Our slogan is "Help us help the kids."
Gotcha.
But my door is not closed to anybody. First of all, financial literacy is needed by everybody, especially in the less privileged. I don't want to completely say underprivileged because of just because we live in the hood, but like we over here on the historic west side of Las Vegas, so we're in an area.
That aspect of financial literacy, whereby it's not just how you're maintaining your income and expenses on a life point, but with respect to how royalties are paid, or streaming, or sync licensing, or
Exactly.
anything like that. Okay, all right, very
Exactly.
cool,
So, I mean,
very
like
cool.
as far as on the music side, that's what we're looking at as far as financial literacy. But not only that, we have a program that we're going to be doing that's called Young Entrepreneur Startup. And when we say young, we're not talking about the of age. We're talking about new to be an entrepreneur. Okay. And one of our programs that we're having with that is like we would have you come in, we got a green screen and everything, sit down with and do an interview with you, bring you right in a cold interview, then let you see your interview, then go over your interview with you, and then bring you back and do another one. Let's change your clothes. Let's get these questions answered right. Let's remove the like let's remove those. Okay.
Yeah.
And then what we'll end up with for you is a digital. You will have your digital resume. Because now today that's where things are at. EPKs, digital resumes. So we're not on, I mean, like it's like it's the more I allow God to move me around and stuff, and y'all really know me. I'm not a cat to be hollering God, 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 but that's my running buddy. And right now he pushing on me. I got to get credit where credit is due. So right now with everything that's developing, it's like And I've been trying to scale back so I can build up because all my ideas are really grandiose. This is the first time I've scaled back. And I've scaled back to a point where this has exploded to way more than, I mean, like every aspect of what I've ever wanted to do. And it always seemed too much because it was like, it was every aspect. But they are all aspects of our lives as musicians and artists. I mean, like people don't think babysitters are important. You can't go to the gig without a babysitter. So there's so many different things that come into play that, you know, and so that's the way I look at, like I don't play music, I don't work music, I am music. This is what I do. Okay. And if I influence you in any way, then it could be harmful if I don't show you other things because my field, my world is not a user friendly world.
Hmm.
Okay.
Understood.
My world, this world of music is not user friendly. It has no favoritism.
Right.
None. Period. 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 I don't care how good you are or how bad you are, because we know some cats who suck that go to the top of the cream, rise to the cream on top of. But we don't know what they did to get there and what they're willing to do to, So it's,
Knocking it out of the park. Absolutely. I
you
understand.
know.
Absolutely. I understand that.
So that's my goal with the school, man, is try to allow people to just live a happier, better life, man. I mean, like the, you don't have to be a musician to take the advantages of music. I mean, music is used in medical fields, you know, uh, psychological. They bust kidney stones with. I mean, hey, you know, uh, I tell people, I say, when you sit down and you watch a movie, the scariest part of the movie is usually a black screen. Come on, dog, you ain't looking at Jack. You in a room with 150 other people and you scared. It's the
Right.
music.
Right.
It's the power of the music.
That's correct. That's
Ain't
correct.
got to do with no black screen.
That has to be round two. We're going to have to do this again, right? You know this. Hey, we're going to have to do it again because we haven't gotten into sound waves, we haven't gotten into frequencies, we haven't gotten
Oh
into
yeah, see
chord structures and whatnot.
no, no. See that's who I really am. Music is just a byproduct of who we are. I tell people to make life easier understanding music.
Hmm.
Music is nothing more than a group of noises put together in a rhythmic pattern, hopefully with a melodic tone to it.
That's right.
Nothing more. Yeah, that's what makes us wonderful.
That's what's
But
happening.
yeah, man, I'm ready for round two. I'm glad seeing you and talking to you, man. You know, there's a couple cats that said I was they were watching me. I'm glad y'all didn't see some of the other shit I did. I'll put it like that. Uh, and I can say that the cats that have said that to me, you guys are good people, and you're going forward, doing the same thing that I've always had in my heart, uh, to make a better world. Like Michael said, all them cats, it may sound corny, but just to try to make a better world through what we have to offer. That's
Absolutely.
that's it.
Everybody's been given a gift. Everybody doesn't know how to use the gift that they have been given, you know. And that's been my heart, man. And so when you sent me the information for the school, I was delighted. and delighted to offer this platform to you. And you know that you're more than welcome. It does my heart good to know that, you know, the little 15, however old I was, sitting over in the corner, not really didn't have any confidence to say anything. I just wanted to watch because I didn't want to get kicked out. So I didn't say anything. Just sitting in the corner watching you and all these computers and you doing what you do. And I knew one day I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that for real. And Carl, I got to tell you, man, look, my nose is brown enough. I don't have to kiss anybody's butt. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to flatter you. But
Hey man,
you
I mean,
were.
y'all be blowing me away, man. Y'all. I mean, when you say, all I can say is thank you, and like I say, I'm glad you didn't see some of the other shit I did.
It is what it
Oh,
is, man. We all live
before
life.
before I go, and before we
Sure.
do a number two, because this is something I'm
Sure.
having to learn, man. Okay, let me preface this. Growing up in Youngstown, there was so much dirty money that I learned not to take.
Mm-hmm.
I learned how to not have to ask. But I'm in a different place now.
Mm-hmm.
I have this nonprofit organization.
There you go.
I want you guys to help us to help the kids. That's where it's at right now.
Word.
Nonprofit is different, player.
Yeah.
It's different. Our goal is to give all this. We don't want any money. We're not charging anybody anything, period.
Mm.
But in order for us to do this, we need donations. We need sponsors. Uh, we need sustainers. Uh, this is brand new for me. I mean, like, I ain't never been on the big game. Can't nobody ever remember me asking for Jack because I ain't never had to ask for nothing. But this, I'm not asking for me. That's the reason this time it's easier.
Yeah.
I don't need Jack. I'm good. I got the kids. And we be back. Where you at? You still in Youngstown?
I'm still here. Still here in Youngstown.
Well, let me go ahead and say this. Yeah, I might be speaking a little soon, but see, Jeff Green and I were trying to bring the school back to Youngstown about 3-4 years ago, even before musical exploration got off the ground. That's when I was with the other company. It might have been a little bit longer than that, but I got blocked out by some different situations.
Mm. I
we're
see.
already we're already in conversation to bring uh, a chapter of musical exploration back home. I mean, like, this is everything that I'm doing started from there. Everything that I'm about started from off of Earl, 349 West Earl Avenue. Born and raised Southside all the way. Cleveland School, Princeton School, South High School,
Word up.
Southside all the way. You know, uh, I have to. It's my responsibility to bring it back there. But I got to get it together first because I can't bring back no garbage, man.
I understand it. I understand it. So people can reach out to you at metlc.world. And that's where
Yes,
donations can be made as well.
yes, and everything, man. Jerry, I want to thank you so much for what you're doing, just in general. You've been hitting it hard, you know.
Yes, sir.
Uh, and I mean, like, for you, you're doing it, man. To think that I was of any had anything to do with you being who you are just really pushes me over to the next level of feeling how I'm supposed to feel, I guess. Hell.
It's no doubt. It's no doubt because again, we grew up in a land of players. Everybody's playing something
Yeah.
or singing something, and I was on the last end. I graduated in '83. Okay, so I was on the last end of where the variety shows were really kicking it strong. Did the East Variety Show. North, I think, was out of the cut at that point with what the Youngstown Public System was doing, but definitely on putting together the home studios, recording the young rappers coming in, 89, 90, all of the phases. But I had, and Billy, man, how come I can't think of Billy's last name? Plan B
Jenkins.
Productions, Billy Jenkins. So he was
Billy
another
Jenkins.
one from
Yeah.
promoting shows, more of the
Yeah.
promotion,
Bill
but
was
but
good. He was good at promoting shows.
absolutely. But the music production, that's what I want to do. 349 Earl.
Yeah. Yeah. Third floor works. They added
That's what
third
was up.
floor works. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what's happening. This won't be our last conversation on this platform. I can promise you that. Tell Skip I said what's up. You know, it's been a
I
long
sure
time
will.
since I talked with him. He was in Cleveland several years back. Had an opportunity to touch base, but man, many blessings to you. Many blessings to We Are Musical Exploration. Check them out. metlc.world. Get with Carl. Make a donation. And
And the TLC,
that's it.
that stands for the Learning Center. So the name of the school is Musical Exploration, the Learning Center.
The Learning Center.
The Learning Center, yeah. For musical and financial literacy. Financial literacy, we got to learn that because,
That's right.
you know, we can't because see, right before we go, there's usually a sacrificial lamb.
Sure.
And when I say that, when you got a crew and your crew got a dream, usually one cat in the crew takes the bullet and he sells the dope for the crew. There's usually a
Mm.
sacrificial lamb. And we got to learn how to eliminate that.
Word up.
That's our whole thing, man. We got to learn how to remove those generational crutches. You know, y'all
Absolutely.
help us help the kids, man. Terry, thank you, man. Thank you 1,000%, 100% don't work play.
Won't be
You
the
know,
last time, bro. That's for sure.
anytime.
Well, that's going to do it for this episode of the EntreMusician. Karl Kc Cousin, hometown love, musical hero, and a blessing to this next generation. And again, as he said, it doesn't matter your age. Everyone needs to know financial literacy. Everyone needs to know something about music theory, however you're going to place that in your arsenal for your career or for your life. This is the EntreMusician. I say it all the time. I say it every time. I want you to like, subscribe, share this video, tell everyone you know and 14 people you don't that you get down with the EntreMusician. We have these wonderful interviews. This was no less than the absolute best. My name is Jerry B. I am the EntreMusician, but so are you. We will see you again soon. God bless.